Defeats for Tottenham against West Ham and Arsenal at Leicester meant that a win against Manchester United would draw Chelsea level on points with third-place Spurs and see them take a huge step towards securing a top-4 finish. For Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's United, however, victory would take them level on points with the Blues and see them right back into Champions League contention. United were desperately hoping for a win to arrest a dreadful run, during which they had lost 7 of their last 9 games in all competitions. Chelsea, on the other hand, had lost on all 4 visits to rival top 6 clubs in the Premier League this season, scoring just once and conceding 13 in the process. Chelsea's last win at Old Trafford came in 2013, when Juan Mata, then wearing blue, scored the only goal. Having set up with a back 3 against Manchester City 4 days earlier, United reverted to a back 4 and utilised a diamond shape in midfield. Nemanja Matic sat at the base, with Juan Mata at the tip, supporting a front 2 of Marcus Rashford and Romelu Lukaku. Chelsea defended in a 4-5-1 shape, with wide attackers Eden Hazard and Willian dropping into a midfield 5 alongside Mateo Kovacic, Jorginho and N'Golo Kante. Gonzalo Higuain operated alone on the top line. In possession, Chelsea pushed higher in a 4-3-3 shape. Hazard and Willian took up wide starting positions to try and stretch the United defence horizontally and create room for Kovacic and Kante, who had licence to push forward from midfield to attack. United maintained their diamond formation when they didn't have the ball. Mata sat on Jorginho while Matic screened the balls into Higuain. On the top line, Lukaku and Rashford dropped in alongside Mata, focusing on getting into the right shape and congesting central areas rather than pressing. From here, the United front 2 were also asked to try and track any progress from the Chelsea fullbacks in wide areas. The hosts offered a consistent threat in behind the Chelsea back 4. Rashford and Lukaku worked in between the fullback and centre-back on their side and tried to use their movement to find the spaces in behind. It was from a run in behind from Luke Shaw that Solskjaer's men took an 11th minute lead, however. The United left-back was initially tracked by Willian, but the Brazilian didn't finish the job and left Shaw free to pull back for Mata to open the scoring. The positioning of Matic as the free man in midfield at the base of the diamond enabled United to keep the pressure on and win the ball in higher areas. With no Chelsea player designated to mark him, the Serbian was able to pick up second balls and clearances before recycling possession quickly. The home side's midfield overload also helped them pick off the Chelsea press, particularly if one of the visiting midfielders moved out to press the United fullbacks, Conte on Shaw, for example. United were then able to string 2 or 3 forward passes through the thirds and into their forwards. Reacting to both the goal and their opponent's defensive shape, Chelsea looked to Hazard and Willian to work inside from the wide areas. This forced the United back 4 into a narrower shape and created space in wide areas for fullbacks Marcos Alonso and Cesar Azpilicueta to advance, knowing Lukaku and Rashford would be unwilling to follow them so far back. Unfortunately for the hosts, another terrible mistake from the out-of-form David De Gea gifted the visitors an equaliser shortly before half-time. The Spanish keeper spilled an Antonio Rudiger shot from distance and was unable to stop Alonso from finishing past him on the rebound. The goal took United's run of games without a clean sheet to 13 in all competitions. Knowing that a draw would suit them more than their opponents, Chelsea adopted a more sensible attacking approach in the second half. Their fullbacks were still allowed to advance, in particular Alonso on the left, but the opposite fullback would then stay at home, alongside his centre-backs in a 3-on-2 overload against the United front 2. At the other end, United worked hard to restrict the time and space Hazard had to influence the game, especially in dangerous areas. This stemmed mainly from numbers behind the ball, with Rashford and Lukaku working hard to take up defensive positions behind the ball. A flurry of substitutes in the final quarter, some enforced by respective injuries to Rudiger, Willian and Eric Bailly, affected the flow of the game. The late introduction of Scott McTominay for Mata saw Paul Pogba move to the attacking tip of the diamond for United. But neither he nor new man Alexis Sanchez, who had replaced Rashford with half an hour to go, exerted any genuine influence. The 1-1 draw represented a much better result for Sarri and Chelsea, who remain 4th but extend their advantage over 5th place Arsenal to 2 points. Solskjaer and United remain 3 points adrift of Chelsea in 6th and need some serious help from others if they're to make the top 4.